Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So my guy here with the Genesis vehicle took it to the car dealership to get an oil change, right? Nothing too big, just a basic oil change. It would seem to turn out to be a bunch of nightmare. Jesus. This is the reason why, like, for me personally, I don't take my car to oil change. I know people have, different experiences when it comes to oil change. A lot of people don't really have the time, so the dealership makes it very convenient. But when the dealer does make mistakes, they should ratify that mistake right away so the customer still stays happy with the brand and with just overall experience at all, because one terrible experience can lose a customer forever that has spent thousands and thousands of dollars in not only purchasing your vehicle but also going to the dealerships to maintain said vehicle. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the story, how it went from a simple oil change to a myriad of headache. So we went from a oil change to a brand change. In my opinion, hey, good move, man. So here's what happened. So everyone makes mistakes was the first thing that came to mind for a customer named Mike, who prefers to be identified by his first name only, when Huffin's Genesis of Plano, Texas admitted to overfilling his G80's engine with oil. And here's the thing. In most of these dealerships, they hired like new tech that barely knows what the fuck they're doing. So that's your first mistake, because they try to save as much money as they can when it comes to paying their employees fair wage. Most of these people are just hiring kids from the street, not experienced mechanics, because they don't want to pay them that much money. So they'll hire anybody that has like basic knowledge. And this is just me talking from experience of dealing with dealerships and maintenance. I just usually just avoid them at all costs, because there's a bunch of different resources online on how to do it yourself, whether it's like oil change, replacing a battery in your car, simple things like that, replacing the cabin filters. Dealerships might charge you like 60, $80, just to do a simple filter change. My best advice to you is, if you can't do it yourself, find a local mechanic or somebody that you can trust, somebody that somebody can recommend somebody for you, so then you can just start going there to do your oil change instead of taking it to these big retail dealerships to get the oil change done, because they'll hire anybody, honestly. Anyway, going on. So they overfilled it, which caused it to fail. He told Car Scoops that the dealer did its best to reassure him about the situation. Genesis assured him the damage would be covered under warranty and his car would perform just as well as before, a bit with a brand new engine under the hood. In theory, that sounds great. It does. It sounds great. That's a great idea. Hey, new engine, let's go. But here it goes. But it took the dealer some 2 months to get the engine swap done. 2 months. One might believe that it will take all that time, but it would be perfect according to Mike. Sadly, that wasn't the case. Despite warranty repairs costing in excess of $18,000, the problem were far from over. Now the car rattled, vibrated, lost its serene and peaceful nature. Substantial shaking is translated into the seats, the steering wheel, and the mirrors, all visible shake. The owner wrote the dealer, "I do not have videos of the rear end noise, but can reproduce it on demand. I would be happy to do so on a test drive with a service advisor." Now, it wasn't just the engine that it had issues from the rear differentials as well. Huffin's Genesis told Mike that it would be 2 months before it could address those concerns. So 2 months to do the engine replacement, and then another 2 months in general to do to obviously remedy the situation that he's experiencing. Understandably, more than 4 months into the dealer created ordeal, Mike wanted to move on. In his first letter to Genesis corporate, he says that a dealer manager told him, "Pick any car on the lot and we'll put this behind us." Pick any car, right? Pick any car you want. I wouldn't have picked what he picked, But anyway, let's move on. When he did, the dealer offered him $28,000 for his vehicle. So instead of giving him a brand new vehicle, they offered him 28 grand for his car. Why didn't they just kind of swap out the vehicles because they fucked up? Why didn't they just give him a brand new vehicle and then just take that L, but at least you get to keep him as a customer and he gets to spend more money on maintenance? Well, God forbid he would go back to that dealership for any maintenance on the brand new vehicle that he just got. But instead, they offered him 28 grand. That didn't sit right with Mike. That wouldn't sit right with me either, you know. Mike, who quickly found out the other dealers were willing to offer him more. He says that one employee at Huffins even told him to sell it privately if he wanted more because it was a smaller dealer and couldn't compete with larger ones. That's odd, since it ultimately did just that and provided Mike with $36,000 in trade-in that he accepted. And then in exchange, gets juicier. In exchange, he picked up another G80, this time a 2023 model, for $47,000. In essence, he's paid over around $10,000 to get slightly newer version of the car that shouldn't have ended up damaged to begin with. Somehow, this isn't even the end of the story. After the transaction was done, Mike sent the car to get a paint protection film. The technician doing the work noticed something alarming. This G80 had undergone previous bodywork, which means it was in a car accident. Additionally, it had mismatched tire, overspray on one body panel, masking tape still stuck to a quarter panel. But then he would have seen all that stuff beforehand, or at least he should have had somebody check out the vehicle before he bought it and check the record and everything like that. I'm sure he checked the record of the vehicle, but you should have hired like a mechanic or somebody to come check out a used car. That's something that I would recommend to anybody purchasing a used car, whether it's from a dealership or a private party. Check it out extensively before you put that cash out. Under the rear edge of the hood was a part. According to Mike, the discovery marked the beginning of the end regarding his relationship with Genesis. Woo! Took him long enough. For me, I would have been gone. I would have been out of here. Anyway, as of May 20, he's returned the car and was in the process of picking up a Lexus GX50. You're going to be much happier, I guarantee it. Everyone makes mistakes. That said, this is a lot of mistakes. Genesis Corporate especially does not care at all. I literally had Genesis Corporate tell me yesterday that since the demo was technically a used car, they couldn't really do anything, he told us. Genesis provided the following statement about the situation. At Genesis, the customer is the center of every decision. Bullshit! That's just a PR statement that they put out. They don't really give a shit about the customer. They just want to sell you said product, and they don't really care. We aim to deliver a seamless and elevated experience at every touch point. In this customer's case, our local retailer partner provided a number of options with the aim of driving a satisfactory solutions to his concern. What they should have done is they should have offered him a brand new vehicle and then just take off some money off of that vehicle, or at least give him a higher trade-in. So instead of getting a 2023 used vehicle, they should have given him a brand new 2024 vehicle, and maybe take some cash off of that. So it would be something more agreeable to him. I think if they had given him a brand new car, none of this issue would have ended the way that it did. A full buyback for the first vehicle purchase was provided upon the customer's request, and a second pre-owned vehicle was offered as a replacement. That second vehicle was a piece of shit. We are disappointed that we're unable to satisfy this customer's needs, and will continue to work with our retail partners on improving our customer experience. So that's a terrible customer experience. There it is, folks. So in a nutshell, if you can do DIY, do it yourself. So at least if something goes wrong, it's your fault. You fucked up. I've taken responsibility of my own actions before when I fucked up my vehicle, which is fine. I have nobody to be angry to, except for myself for fucking it up. but I would find a solution that would solve the problem that I fucked up on. So anyway, that's the story. But I'm glad that he's happy at the end. He got himself a GX 550. Hey, great car. It's gonna last you a long time. I feel like when it comes to the dealer experience, everybody's experiences is different depending on the brand. Just because you get treated a certain way from certain dealerships and their service department doesn't mean like all of them are the same. There are some that are better than others. But if you are going to take your car to get a service or whatever, like I said, just find yourself a decent mechanic, know a friend, or ask a friend to recommend somebody for you to take your vehicle to get it repaired. I think that's the best solutions that I can give you, or you can do it yourself. As always, make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys in the next video.